Today's video is sponsored by CleanMyMac X. Back in 2008, Apple was extremely innovative during this time. They had just released the very first iPhone, and the MacBook Air was released as the world's thinnest notebook, transforming the personal computing space. It's during this incredibly innovative time that a young 21-year-old student started a Mac-related project out of his college dorm room that would change the Apple and Mac space. That 21-year-old is Oleksandr Kosovan, and his vision at that time was simple: to help declutter our digital lives, because particularly back then, the Mac workspace was typically messy and unorganized. So he set off to create a solution in the form of Mac software for decluttering, device maintenance, and security. So how did he do this? Well, this is the story of MacPaw and how Oleksandr was able to grow his college room project to become one of the fastest growing Mac software companies. Oleksandr grew up in a place called Nadverna, a town in the western part of Ukraine, where he spent a lot of time learning how to code and program from scratch. So pairing this up with his passion for Apple products, which began when he couldn't afford a new Mac, he eventually saved up enough to get his hands on an Apple wireless keyboard. So with that, he went on to create the initial version of CleanMyMac. And this led to the multi-million-dollar business idea, which is creating software to optimize Macs. It sounds simple now, but it actually wasn't being done or wasn't common back then in the 2000s. So after the first month, the demand actually didn't slow down, because CleanMyMac X began to grow rapidly and it underwent 3 significant releases. Each release basically focused on improving features like the ability to clean extra junk and algorithm improvements so the app effectively cleans the system and avoids important system files. Another big development was the malware removal feature, because unlike popular belief, Macs can actually be affected by malware and other security threats. So then CleanMyMac X evolved to also protect Macs from malware, which was probably a big drawcard for users back then. And possibly one of the biggest changes and most well-known change to CleanMyMac X was the improvements to its user interface, making it more user-friendly even for those who aren't tech-savvy. So the constant refinements in the tools and user interface led to the award-winning CleanMyMac app that we know today, that now has 49 tools in total for Mac maintenance. It's a great example of constant product refinement and listening to user feedback in business. So they took user feedback, and this usually transformed into new tangible product features, and often MacPaw would name the release in homage to the user whose idea sparked its development, like Oleksandr or Michael Lee. I think this is such a fun Easter egg, and it's a great example of a company really taking feedback seriously. Another milestone that accelerated growth was the app becoming accessible on the Mac App Store in 2020. So Apple's App Store is usually a great springboard for developers, and it filled CleanMyMac's user base that year to the point where the software is now used by 185 countries and cleans millions of Macs. The user base grew so quickly that apparently there was one guy who sent his subscription fee in a physical envelope and sent it to MacPaw via mail with these letters here, and MacPaw manually activated the license for him. Now today, MacPaw has grown to the company that we know, with 500 plus specialists on its team, with offices in Kyiv, Boston, and Cyprus. And the office there is really no joke. It's an ultra-modern space with amenities you'd expect from successful tech startups, like hybrid meeting rooms and nap rooms, a 3D print lab for personal projects, and almost everything in the office is controlled directly by custom iPhone apps developed in-house. It's seriously really cool. It also hosts TechServe's vintage collection of Macs that used to be in New York City. Maybe some of you know it. And the original Apple Lisa lives here, which is considered the first ever mass market personal computer with a graphical interface. So going from a one-person startup in a dorm room to a team of over 500, the office culture is all about helping machines help people. And MacPaw isn't just all about CleanMyMac X, it's the software that drove the success of MacPaw, but they're also really well known for apps like ClearVPN and SetApp, which is a successful subscription-based service for Macs and iPhones. And if there's one common theme throughout the apps, it's that they're all beautifully designed. MacPaw's focus on design is so clear from their obsessive, whimsical, and detailed approach on software design, and I think it carries into their office and Teams, as you can probably see. Where some Mac apps are two-dimensional, CleanMyMac has a lot of depth to the user interface by using parallax animations or icons, animating the scan buttons, and elevating the navigation menu with a hover effect towards the user in the Z-axis. All these small touches add up to an elevated Mac app that stands out. And with all their success, MacPaw is consistently giving back to the community through an initiative called MacPaw Cares since 2018. It's a great initiative that helps all sorts of areas from animals to fostering local tech talent and promoting diversity. A really cool example of this is MacPaw helping support the Vernadsky research base, which is all the way out in the Ukrainian Antarctic station, providing necessities, rugged laptops, research equipment, and even helping improve the internet connection for the station. The Hello Code initiative also provides young kids computer science lessons from the MacPaw team at schools they graduated from to help empower future software engineers. I'll drop a link down below if you want to learn more about these great initiatives. So if you follow my channel, you'll know that CleanMyMac X has been a long-standing sponsor and supporter of our channel, and it's an app that I personally love, believe in, and have been using for years now. It's come a really long way from its humble roots as an app coded by its founder to an essential tool used by millions of Mac users celebrating its 15th anniversary already. And it's easy to see why it's loved. It's a beautifully designed app that lovingly maintains your Mac devices automatically. So I hope you found this story as inspirational as I did, and if you made it to the very end of this video, comment the code word create experience and I'll give it a like. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.